If I experienced jail, I experienced it like this. It sucked. Jail sucks. And people know what jail is like that know what jail is like. And if you experience jail even for one day, which is pretty much all I experienced it for one day, not even 12 hours I experienced. It was a demeaning, it was a dehumanizing experience where you were less than a human being, and that was how it's meant to be, is what I understand. You're not supposed to have control. You're not supposed to have an opinion. You're not supposed to be an individual amongst the crowd that's there when you're outside I guess when you're outside the influence of the gatekeepers of the prison guards or the sheriffs that are there, in charge of your safety and of charge of your behavior. There's somebody there to make sure you behave and control you, because jail is about that. Jail is about you being controlled. It's not about you having control anymore. And if you have control, then you're not really in jail. You're free to make choices. But when general population is a place that people do make choices on their own, this is a place that sometimes, the worst of what we are then comes out. It's not the best of what we are, but I don't really know that much of that just by hearsay from people that have been there and the things that I've kind of, come across over the years. Jail is not a good place. Prison is not a good place. It's not a good place if you want to be a good person forever. Because if you have to be in there, you can be a good person and you can find God and you can find people that are good. But it is the law of the jungle in there. And I didn't experience that. I experienced a lot of fake sleeping, a lot of fake sleeping, and I wondered why the hell is everybody fake sleeping here, man? And nobody talks to each other, and and it's not funny because you don't know who your cellmate is when you're first arrested and put into the process, into the first part of before your first court date. If court date happens quick, then either you're released from recognizance, or if you're a multi-offender, then you're you're gonna go into you're gonna have a you're gonna stay is what you're gonna say. And thankfully, I didn't have to experience a whole lot of that. I wasn't a bad boy like that, but I was bad enough where I had problems, and I had to deal with that. It doesn't make me a shitty human being, or it doesn't make me a bad person. Just if I have a felony, it doesn't make me a bad person. It's just I had a felony. I have a felony. A felony reflects a bad choice I made. It doesn't reflect a bad person that I was, and still am. It was a bad moment that I made a mistake. It wasn't for me. It was a bad moment. It wasn't a reflection of bad moments that I constantly did. It was an outcome to my addiction, and it was something that I deserved. I deserved to get my ass beat by the cops. Which, all right, I deserved to get my ass beat by the cops because I was out of hand, and they have to physically restrain someone who is out of hand. And I had a police dog put on me, and I, like an idiot, stood my ground while the police dog came running at me, and I stuck my right hand in the dog's mouth. I stuck my right hand in the dog's mouth, and I wasn't high, but I was in what's called psychosis. And I stuck my hand in there, and I have a tennis coach at the time, and I was for a long time afterwards, and I played right-handed. And that moment I stuck my hand in that dog's mouth, I lost the ability to play tennis at any level that I had been able to play tennis before, because that dog broke my bones in its mouth. It chomped down and it frickin' started to eat my hand, is what it felt like. I could feel the blood and I could feel the crunch. I could hear the crunch of the bones as it reset its bite and clamped down again. I heard my bones break. And the x-rays later showed that part of my bone was gone. So that doggy had a little bony snack, which I hope it didn't hurt it, which it probably didn't, but I laugh because I survived it and I came out of that. And the way that I survived it was because the police officers were extremely generous with their restraint, because they all had their guns pointed at me because I was being a lunatic. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's something that's like, when you're that stupid and you do something so fucking stupid like I did, then I don't know if what the cops the cops were laughing at me when they processed me. The cops said, one of the officers looked at my police report, or looked at my arrest page or whatever it was, and he said, "Oh, you got a police dog put on you. You got tased, and you had the takedown team have to subdue you." And he looked up at me and he goes, "You had the trifecta." And I didn't think it was funny. I think it was funny afterwards, but man, that was my first experience of like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I know I was an idiot before, but but didn't make me a bad person. It just made me. I just had something I had to go through to understand that I was getting, uh, I was going down the wrong way, and I was lucky that that police was put upon me, even though I lost my ability to play. And I hate that I can't play tennis at a level that I used to play because I love the feeling of being able to strike that ball perfectly and set up and technique and keep working on technique because I can't move my hand the same way. I can't do it. And and I don't really talk about this very much, but yeah, I miss tennis in that way. But I mean, I'm glad that it was the police dog and not getting my ass shot because when the police report describes for me cops pointing their guns at me and SWAT team pointing their guns at me and a helicopter overhead, and I don't remember the helicopter overhead, with light flashing down. I remember the officer screaming and very authoritatively, and me like being a dumb shit, being a dumb shit and yelling at. I put a lot of people's lives not at risk, mostly, but I put my life at risk. But the police officers also would have to deal with the possibility that I had I had a gun, and the gun went off, and that's what got them to come. Jeez, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I'm not. Am I a bad person? I asked God. God, am I a bad person? God was going to ask me like this, Mr. Rahman. You were a stupid man for a night. It didn't reflect that you're a bad person, because when the things that you do now are the things that reflect a better person and a person that does not do those things, because you did them on one night and you didn't do anything else that was as dramatic and as overt as what happened on that one night. You're a man that had a bad night. You're a man that deserved to get his ass kicked. You're a man that deserves to experience the things that people don't get to experience, which is to live through that experience. You deserve to live that experience because God judged you as someone who could be a better person, and He let you get past that. He let you survive that, and He took your hand. He took your hand not because it was amputated, but He took your hand because He wanted to teach you a lesson. And He didn't know that you wouldn't learn that lesson. He knew you wouldn't learn that lesson, but it was something I had to go through. And I wish didn't have to go through it, but I'm glad that I went through it. And if I'm a bad person, then I'm a person that had to go through it.